a steadfast, immovable giant in the South Pole, a block of ice without cracks or holes. What lies beyond it? Who inhabits it? Where does the truth hide? Are there truly strange beings, astonishing civilizations, and shocking surprises behind that massive cliff? Is it an international treaty, an agreement among scientists, or a secret ruling organization that knows everything you carry in your hands, everything you own, and even what will happen tomorrow? They draft plans and events, race against time, write next year's occurrences, steal the future, and snatch dreams from under our eyelids. They lead the world, decide wars, imprison nations, conceal secrets, sow discord, and reap entire peoples along the path of their unwavering civilization. Meanwhile, humanity lives, learns, and develops on one straight path, while they lead the train at the front, planning oil consumption, combating desertification, utilizing radiation, and exploiting the poles. Who really leads this world? Who decides that this crisis will persist while this catastrophe will pass? Why do they lick the snows of Mars and touch the frozen surfaces of the moon in public, yet hide from us the truths of the Great Southern Wall? Or is the enlightened mind at the level of civilizations a matter of maturity? What the immature see as strange phenomena and hidden worlds, the mature see as a close-up painting with clear and vivid details. Who holds the reins of science? Who decides the days of war and peace? Who determines the fate of Earth's resources and steers the ship of nations? Who hides the truth from us and blinds our eyes to the South Pole? Let's start. The topic of the ice wall in Antarctica will never truly end, and we will not reach a definitive conclusion about it until we delve into its depths and uncover its secrets. There is public insistence and pressure on platforms like Facebook and TikTok to investigate the mystery of the ice wall, as people don't believe the available information is sufficient. There is a deliberate omission of the truth about the massive ice shelf, with vast areas of it never having been reached by a ship, vehicle, or human being. Occasionally holes appear, rumored to be gateways to a city isolated from civilization. Secrets, stories, incomplete information, and conflicting opinions have left people confused, turning the issue into one of immense intrigue and excitement. As a result, people are demanding aerial exploration, balloons, landings, or cameras to investigate the ice shelf's depths. People simply want to know the truth behind this mystery, much like the iconic line from the play, "We'll go down to the basement, we'll go down to the basement." The sentiment is clear, there is no backing out. The ice wall, shaped like a rectangular slab, covers an area greater than half of Algeria's landmass, 500,000 square kilometers of radiant white ice. Its height is about 1.5 times the height of the Burj Khalifa, containing 90% of the world's ice. Speculations and websites buzzing with this topic warn against underestimating people's intelligence, as they believe strange creatures may exist, beings adapted to the extreme environmental and climatic conditions. Certainly these are not humans. They might be alien creatures capable of surviving in such an environment with an average temperature of -40 degrees Celsius. These could be beings from a distant, cold planet who have established a base in Antarctica. After all, humans have built space stations that can potentially be moved to Mars or the Moon. This raises the possibility that if life exists elsewhere in the galaxy, an advanced civilization may have reached Earth and set up a station in an isolated region far from human populations, typically untouched due to extreme cold and storms. Western sources align with state policies, claiming that the area is completely natural and that all images and supposed gateways in the ice wall are fabricated by flat Earth theorists. They argue that no expeditions are sent to the ice shelf simply to avoid risks. However, if we set foot in Antarctica, they warn, we might unintentionally trigger the melting of the ice. Well, if they're so concerned about the environment, why don't they send robots and cameras mounted on drones to film this terrifying ice wall and bring us the truth? But that won't happen because there's more to the story than meets the eye. A white expanse as large as France has no clear or comprehensive videos available. There are 50 possibilities and 50 conspiracies tied to the truth about the Ross Ice Shelf and the southern ice wall. Large parts of the world remain undiscovered. Areas in the Gobi Desert where no human foot has stepped, or parts of the Sahara in North Africa that may hide cities and ruins unseen by any eye. However, the case of the frozen white mass in Antarctica is different, as it is suspiciously isolated. The excuse of risks, environmental damage, and ice melting is not convincing at all. After all, those who started wars, polluted our air with gas and chemicals, and now talk of nuclear wars are hardly concerned about nature or the environment. This refusal to explore or circle the ice wall has led people to suspect that claims of non-human creatures or strange cities inhabited by mysterious beings in the heart of the white mass might hold some truth. To this day, all possibilities remain on the table. The ongoing competition between Russia, China, the US, and Western Europe suggests that major nations rarely agree on anything. International interests often prevent conflicting nations from standing on the same side regarding any issue. However, and underline the words however in red and green, global interests, no matter how significant, are halted when it comes to the Earth's well-being. Ships avoid ice masses in the Arctic and Antarctic to prevent further environmental degradation. Some believe the entire issue is fundamentally an environmental one, whether it's the polar regions, Indonesia's forest fires, or Pacific whales. The Earth's ecosystem is deeply interconnected, and disruption in one area impacts all others. Take the war in Ukraine, for instance. It alone has released 175 million tons of carbon dioxide, with the fires and pollution destroying 30% of Ukraine's forests. Can you believe that Japan, a country synonymous with modernity and civility, has committed horrifying crimes against marine life? Over the years, Japanese ships have killed 1.5 million whales, ignoring global environmental pleas and campaigns. The world's true leadership lies in advanced scientific minds. All developed nations have an elite class of scientists who agree on the necessity of protecting the planet and preserving life, be it terrestrial, marine, or extraterrestrial. Human interference is chaotic, and any collective movement across the ice shelf would require energy and fuel, raising temperatures and melting the ice. All the respectful and polished words you read in the headlines of environmental organizations' articles might seem well-intentioned, but when they want to expose an issue or explain a phenomenon, they'll count coral reefs in pitch-black depths of the ocean. Yet when they want to conceal a crime, planes vanish in mysterious triangles, and ships sink in oceans so deep that even Poseidon himself wouldn't find them. It's entirely possible that the issue of the ice wall contains secrets and mysteries we'll never uncover, as long as there are powers steering this world along a singular path of civilization for all nations and peoples. We've agreed that humanity's path of progress follows a unified trajectory. All nations study the same mathematics, albeit in different languages, and all people value music, singing, visual arts, painting, and sculpture. Everywhere, people use cars, bicycles, and airplanes. The world is unified on a cultural level, and this is incredibly significant because it underscores a simple truth. Humanity itself is the core of civilization, the most vital unit on Earth. This message is particularly directed at those who hold absurd, racist ideas, like claiming we, as followers of a certain religion, are closer to God, and both this world and the afterlife belong to us, while billions of others are destined for hell, or asserting we belong to this superior race, white, black, yellow, or brown, and we are the most honorable creation of God, the chosen people, while the rest of humanity is secondary. This racist mentality is a closed bottle, a suffocating space filled with delusions and myths. When Jules Verne wrote in 1865, was he a fortune teller or a visionary? No, he wasn't writing for France or Europe alone. He was writing for all of humanity. Similarly, when he wrote to demonstrate how traveling against the Earth's rotation could save time, was that understanding of time exclusive to Europeans, or was it a universal human understanding applicable to everyone, crossing races, religions, and international boundaries like Halley's Comet, which was predicted to return after 76 years, down to the exact month? The predictor wasn't a seer, he was simply a scientist and researcher who used his intellect. Dmitri Mendeleev, the Russian chemist who created the periodic table, left gaps in it, predicting the discovery of new elements in the future, and his predictions came true. All of this is natural, logical, and completely acceptable. But where do dark intentions come into play? They manifest in the subtle planting of ideas and narratives through animated series or films. When a movie tells a fictional story about a museum heist during World War II, reveals the real reasons behind the Iraq invasion, or delves into hidden truths about the events of September 11, the world's leadership becomes evident. Hollywood, for instance, often seems to hold the calendar of past and future events. It answers questions about history and uses foresight to predict the future. For those unaware, Hollywood played an indirect role in the collapse of the Warsaw Pact a quarter century ago. To verify this, one can review Eastern European newspapers before and after the dissolution, particularly during Ronald Reagan's visit to Germany, when he issued an implicit operational order through a public speech telling the Germans, "Come on, grab your hammers and tear down these walls." Berlin divided into two. Let's take a look at examples that have come to pass. We start with the idea of intercepting an incoming asteroid and blowing it up before it reaches Earth. This concept was depicted in the Bruce Willis movie. The term Armageddon itself is taken from the Book of Revelation in the Bible, referring to the final, decisive battle, almost like Judgment Day. Then there's the case of a movie predicting a deadly epidemic. In 1995, Dustin Hoffman starred in the film, which explored the spread of a lethal virus. Just 2 years after the movie's release, a series of pandemics began. Bird flu in 1997, swine flu in 2009, and finally the years-long COVID-19 pandemic. With COVID now a reality we've lived through, doesn't it seem like someone is setting the course, passing messages and determining outcomes? What about the Southern Ice Wall? What has Hollywood done in this regard? Well, a multitude of films and documentaries have emerged about strange creatures living in icy civilizations. Some are feature films, others are extensive documentaries, and many speculate about the existence of a hidden city beneath the ice, beyond the Great Wall. This city is said to be home to a civilization created by beings we know nothing about. Here we face two possibilities. Either they already know about these beings and are laying the groundwork for the public to learn this truth in the future, or they are speculating about the existence of extraterrestrial life and preparing humanity for this possibility. Either way, we are left drowning in a whirlpool of anxiety about the unknown forces shaping our reality. Who decides the outcomes of extraordinary events humanity faces, be it pandemics, wars, earthquakes, nuclear tests, or polar environmental changes? Could it be the very people who either discovered or orchestrated these events? The industrial and technological race we see playing out today between China, Western Europe, and the United States will ultimately converge at a single point. A decisive battle to determine who controls beginnings and endings, who creates events, and who prevents them. The entire world is waiting to uncover the truth about the distant southern wall and those who may inhabit the icy depths. All the stories and films about an alien civilizations could be deliberate indicators, intentional messages suggesting that beings have arrived, settled, and perhaps even planned a 0 hour to target humanity on Earth. Every possibility remains open. Those who have invested in science and surpassed the limits of human consciousness may hold all the wealth and power. And perhaps from within this ominous wall of ice, something will emerge that threatens all of humanity in the near future, turning Earth into a colonized planet under their rule. We could face devastation in an instant, a moment where prayers and pleas for forgiveness will no longer suffice. Humanity's existence, when measured against the scale of these advanced civilizations, could be seen as fragile and insignificant. Are we blind to what awaits us on this planet? Enjoyed our content? Support us by liking, commenting, and subscribing. Your support helps us keep creating. Thank you.